June 22nd, 1941. The Germans have launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. The most capable German tank at this time is the Panzer IV. The best Russian tank is the T-34. I've already done a video on the Panzer IV, so you can go watch that if you want. But today I shall be talking about the T-34. I am the A-Gamer, and this is a history video on the T-34. For those who don't know what the T-34 is, well, it's a Russian medium tank that was used during World War II and other conflicts. The designer was Kharliv Morozov Machine Building Design Bureau, or KMDB, and it was manufactured by the USSR. The T-34 was the most produced tank for World War II, with a whopping 84,070 built. That makes it just the second most produced tank, right after the T-54-55. Everyone wanted to have a T-34. Just kidding, only the USSR and their puppets wanted the tank, because even though the T-34 was good, it still had its flaws. Some of the flaws included wide tracks. While giving the T-34 great cross-country performance, they often fell apart during turns if there was too much dirt in the road wheels. The gears were also hard to change, and many drivers had to have a mallet to help them change the gears. I'm not going to go through all the battles that the T-34 participated, because that's almost every battle on the Russian front, and that would take too long. Instead, I'm going to compare a Panzer IV to a T-34 during Operation Barbarossa. I'm also going to bring up the Battle of Stalingrad and also the Battle of Berlin. Alright, yeah, I know I already did a Panzer IV video, but to save you guys some time, I'm going to compare them side by side. Hopefully with the help of my video editor, I shall add the numbers to the screen, so you guys can also see them. Alright, now for the data, I'll be using the Panzer IV F1 and the T-34 76 1941 version. The T-34 76 are all the T-34s that had the 76mm cannon, just like the T-34 85 was called that because of the 85mm gun. I just felt like it was important to tell you guys so you won't get confused as I was. Also, to save myself some time, I'm just going to use the metric measurements to try and save my soul. Alright, getting back on track. The Panzer IV's gasoline engine had 300 horsepower to get the tank up to a max speed of 42 kilometers per hour, while the T-34's diesel engine had 500 horsepower to get it up to its max speed of 53 kilometers per hour. The max range of the Panzer IV was 200 kilometers, while the T-34 had a max range of 400 kilometers. The Panzer IV weighed 24.6 tons, while the T-34 weighed 31.4 tons. Alright, it's time to move on. The T-34 76 had a crew of 4. A commander, gunner, commander/gunner, driver, assistant driver, and a loader, which is where all the new recruits started out in a T-34 until they were promoted to other positions in the tank. But the Panzer IV had a crew of 5, a commander, gunner, loader, driver, and assistant driver. The commander in the T-34 operated a 76.2mm F-34 gun. The Panzer IV's gunner operated the howitzer-like 75mm Kampfwagenkanone 37. The Panzer IV was not able to penetrate the T-34's frontal armor. I'm not going to go through how much armor each tank has because everybody would die of boredom. But the reason the Panzer IV wasn't able to penetrate the T-34 was because the T-34's frontal armor was sloped, while the Panzer IV's was flat. That is a very big difference in if you want to survive or not in a tank battle. Yes. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the T-34s and their involvement in Operation Barbarossa, Stalingrad, and Battle of Berlin. During Operation Barbarossa, the T-34s only made up of 4% of the entire Soviet tank force. And the rest of the tank force was outdated BTs and T-26s. The T-34s were dispersed between all of the tank divisions instead of being amassed in one. The T-34s were a big surprise to the Germans, because the German anti-tank gun, the 50mm Pak-38, and other tank guns were not able to penetrate the frontal armor of the T-34, because it was sloped, of course. While all the Soviet factories were moving east, the tank factory in Stalingrad produced 40% of the T-34s between September 1941 to September 1942. Then during the Battle of Stalingrad, the T-34s built in Desertsky's tractor factory were driven right out onto the battlefield. And some, I do believe in some accounts, T-34s were just firing right from the factory floor as they were being built. Then, in February 1944, a new T-34 hit production lines. It had a larger turret that could house 3 men and an 85mm gun. The new T-34-85s were given fresh off the production line to guard tank divisions. Psst! The guards were elite units, just so you guys know. The new T-34-85s were able to kill a Tiger and Panther tanks, while the T-34-76s had a harder time. Then during the Battle of Berlin, T-34s had bed frames welded to the side of the hull and turret to help try to stop the Panzerfaust rounds from killing everyone inside. Just so you guys know, it did not really help. Also, a side note, the World War II American bazookas were not able to penetrate the T-34s, 85s, during the Korean War, because the North Koreans had them back then. Throughout all of World War II, there were 44,900 T-34s lost, while the Germans lost between 33,324 and 42,700 in total tank losses, for such as like light tanks, heavy tanks, medium tanks, all those. So that means the Soviet Union lost more T-34s than what the Germans lost in World War II. It also shows how the Russians used the T-34 to overwhelm the enemy instead of having superior weapons. That is all I have. That is all I have for the T-34. If you made it to the end, good on you. Hope you guys enjoy this, because I tried using a different way of writing it. Please comment what you want me to do next. A Gamer out.